Alright, peeps. We are on show 6. Today we're just going to hit on some few things. One, we have put up our 3D printer. We have done a couple of prints so far, tweaked it a little bit here and there, found where mistakes were made on my behalf to putting it together, or not putting it together, but just leveling the bed out, making sure that it's right. So we got those figured out, and then we started putting some ideas together for 3D printing. We did do some 3D prints that were, what's the word? Testers? Yeah, testers. There are tester ones that we made. Some of them we made, some we took off of Thingiverse. Thingiverse is the basically a community page where everybody puts out their ideas that they've created for 3D printing, and people download them and they try them out. So there are some other things we do need to get off of there, for like strain relief for some of the wires so that they don't break. Little things like that, little tools or little mechanical things that will help keep things from getting screwed up. So anyway, and then we're going to talk about 4K. And there's a lot that people don't understand about 4K when it comes to streaming it, watching it, or anything of the sort. And when it comes to watching it, there are very, very few television shows that are produced in 4K. And so 4K is still in its infancy. And with that being said, it's a great concept. It makes things look nice. But not everything can be done in 4K for everybody. So we'll hit on that as well today as well. So I guess, how's everybody doing? How are you doing, Murder?
I'm doing good.
Good. You see you've been playing a lot of Elite Dangerous.
A lot.
A lot.
I think 5 days is how many days I've had it or played it. And Steam shows 75 hours of gameplay.
That's a lot.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So, but apparently you like it. I know Yip likes it. Frank, he likes it.
Yeah, I'm finding more people.
Doesn't Crash have it?
Yes, me and Frank played with him last night.
Ooh, you freak.
Carbon said he's thinking about getting it.
Oh, nice. I see Carbon has some keys still for a beta for a FPS, doesn't he?
Yes, Black Squad. He's still got some. Last I heard, he still has some keys to give away for it.
Okay. Well, we'll hit up on those things maybe next week. We'll talk about that kind of stuff next week. I got this hair in my nose. It won't go away. All right, so
hairs are there for a reason.
Yeah, I know. All right, so here we're going to go. We're going to start off with 4K. Now, a lot of people don't understand exactly what 4K is. 4K is just taking your 1080 and doubling it, the pixels. That's all it is. Or excuse me, no, it's 4 times. It's 4 times.
Yeah, quadruple.
It's 4 times. Yeah, it's quad times. Sorry, my brain was SDHD was double.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
We make a whole brain.
Yeah, right. I got my quarter. You got the 3/4.
I was thinking more half and half, but.
But anyway, yeah, 4 times, and it's basically being referred to as what they call ultra high definition, or UHD. You'll see a lot of televisions out there that are UHD televisions. Those are 4K televisions. Hollywood pretty much is the only thing that's actually producing anything at all 4K to be put to screen or to wherever. Not a lot of your television stations are, or your television shows are being filmed in 4K and broadcasted in 4K. But that's not to say that you can't watch it in 4K on a 1080p monitor.
Now, there are very select few, and I mean very select few, pay TV providers that offer 4K content.
Yeah, it's very small. It's very small. 4K, say you got somebody streaming 4K. They have to have the camera to actually take all of that information, put it and compress it, and to do everything that needs to be done to make it 4K. You can have a 4K camera streaming straight from it 4K, what you think is 4K, and it really isn't because it's not getting the correct compression. It's still only processing 1080p. But it's still, if you can get the compression, you can get everything, you can still watch it on a 1080p monitor. You're just going to see it at a little bit better of a quality than a standard 1080 stream. Meaning you're going to see sharper pixels and things of the sort. The picture is going to look better, but you're not really watching 4K. You do have to have a 4K monitor for that. Gaming at 4K, I'm going to tell you right now, is not worth it. My personal opinion. Only because you could be streaming the game and playing it at 4K, but that damn thing is taking a toll on your graphics card and on your bandwidth, because it takes so much bandwidth for that 4K to go across it, that you're really doing a disservice to the people who are watching you.
Yeah, most of them aren't going to see it in 4K anyway. They're still going to get 1080.
Anybody using a mobile device will not watch it at all.
Yeah,
they will not be able to see it.
Yeah, mobile devices still only going to get 1080 at best. Majority of them 720.
I was going to say 720 with a lot of buffering if they tried 1080. So 4K would be even worse.
Yeah, I mean,
because it has to process.
You may be streaming and broadcasting 4K, but people aren't going to see your 4K.
They're not going to see much of a difference. In fact, they might even see a lag in it only because their system is trying to process it and compress it so they can so that system can let you watch it. So you would be seeing just crap. Not really, but close enough anyway. I mean, 1080, in my personal opinion, is good enough. It's the high school diploma of the monitor systems. 4K and the new 8K that's going to be coming out, or has just barely hit the market. Those are your bachelor's and your master's degrees of television.
Yeah, it's starting to get. It's just starting to get ridiculous.
Well, it's just like with anything. People want the best of everything, but sometimes the best isn't always the best. Now, that's just not a good thing sometimes.
Yeah.
There was a thing that says that there's not an overabundance of 4K available today, but the top video producers all are moving to 4K as standard. In fact, some of the newer movies, The Hobbit, Contagion, and Jurassic Park were all filmed in 4K.
Yeah, well, movie companies make a good chunk of their return on what it costs them to make a movie in movie theaters. But most people don't. Most people look at, how much did it make at the box office in the first week or the second week, oh, it bombed. They didn't make as much as they spent. But you got to look at, they never announce the possible residual. Who's going to buy the DVDs? Who's going to rent the movie from somewhere when
Yeah.
it comes out? Because even renting it from, say, Amazon, they get a portion of that rental fee.
So
So
that and Redbox, I think, is the other one too.
yeah, so I mean, they're going to a 4K standard because they're not necessarily looking at it as, oh, we want you to have a good theater experience when you go watch it in the movie theater. It's the tens of thousands of 4K TVs people have bought so that they will buy their DVDs and watch them at home.
Yeah. Well, you've got Netflix. Some of their originals, like House of Cards and Arrested Development, are available in 4K. Now, Amazon hasn't done it yet, but it has been said that they are looking to create their original shows in 4K. It has been talked about. Now, if they do it or not.
The Amazon original series has already started being shot in 4K.
Yeah, there's shows though, the original shows themselves, not the series, but like the original movies and stuff, have not yet.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's because it takes more to shoot a 4K movie than it does a 4K television show.
Well, the better the detail gets, the better the environment and the background, their props and everything the more realistic they have to look. Otherwise, you're going to look
the CG.
Like, oh, that's
the CG alone.
And be like, oh, well, that's a fake gun he's holding. I can see the plastic in it.
I can see the weld marks of the plastic welding.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about what is it? If you think about it, right now, 1080 is probably king when it sits. If you look at everything, 1080 is king only because of availability and the cost.
Oh yeah.
But give it a few years, and 4K will be up there.
Well, see, 4K is getting up there. It's pretty popular, like you talked about. 8K is just starting to kind of peek its head out. But I mean, you got to give anything like that. You got to give it time because it may die and something else win over. I mean, look at back in the day when Blu-ray started. They had Blu-ray and they had HD DVDs. HD DVDs died and Blu-ray took over.
Yeah. Now, well, it was a long time ago. Laserdiscs were out.
Oh,
and the quality of those, the quality of them were fantastic. They were the 1080p at the time.
Yeah.
They were fantastic. But because of the cost, there was just no way anybody could keep up with buying Laserdisc and a Laserdisc player. With DVDs being the cheaper way to do things.
So that's one of the considering factors is how much all of it's going to cost when it comes out. If they can't sell many of them, it's not gonna survive.
No, it's like the Beta versus VHS. The Beta players were a smaller tape, but they had better quality than the VHS. But VHS was cheaper to produce.
Yeah.
So it actually comes in twos. You think about it. Everything's been coming in twos. Beta, VHS. You've got Laserdisc and DVD. Then now you got DVD, Blu-ray. And then you're going into, after Blu-ray, you've got these 4K movies versus the Blu-ray and DVDs.
The big thing I'm kind of wondering how it's going to play out is, 4K and in its infancy, 8K. But at the same time, you still got VR out there. So,
oh yeah, exactly.
which one's gonna win it over?
Yeah, exactly. Now you're looking at 4K. I was just reading here that 4K can be compressed. 4K streams now, the streaming itself can be compressed down to less than 20 megabytes per second. But that is still heavier on compression than HD live streams. HD live streams says here, are typically 6 megabytes per second. That's a big difference when you're looking at trying to push that through a needle hole, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got a lot there. And giving it that some of these, if you do 4K, and then you upload it to, say, YouTube will be able to play it in 4K because you've then now uploaded it to them, but it took you all that time to get it there. The playing it's not going to be the hard part because their player will play it in 4K. Now it's on the guy whose monitor is watching it.
Yeah.
So, and there's a couple of guys I've watched that play DayZ and Running Man Z. Running Man Z went and bought a brand new system, and this was probably about 6 months, maybe a little bit longer. He bought a brand new system, and with his brand new system, he started doing 1440 instead of the 1080, which is less than the 4K, but it's still better than the 1080. And he had made a statement that it took so long to upload it. It takes him now longer to produce his videos. So he has to put more into his content for people to actually want to watch it, I guess.
See, Searchy makes a good point too. How are the 3D TVs going? Well, they were popular when they first came out. Everybody's like, oh yeah, we can watch this in 3D.
Yeah, and that's going to the wayside.
You don't hear about them anymore because 4K, the resolution is better, and that's taken half of it away from 3D. The other half is VR.
Yes.
Nobody wants to put on 3D glasses and watch cool 3D TV when I can put this headset on and feel like I'm actually in there touching stuff. Yeah.
I can see a 15-year-old boy putting that on and watching Pornhub. Oh, Jesus.
Come on. This 38-year-old would.
Oh, damn.
See, I picture it in my mind. I picture in the future the way technology's going as far as visually. We hit HD. We got 720. We got 1080, 4K, 8K. We got VR popping out. Star Trek's going to become real.
Oh, yeah. Pretty soon you're going to have holographic televisions.
We're going to have holographic rooms. You walk in and just experience the movie as a character instead of sitting and watching it on a couch.
Yes. Now, holodecks from Star Trek Generations, Next Generation. The holodecks.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it's going to end up being. Interactive with your environment.
Which I'm waiting on. I don't care if I'm 90 years old.
Oh, that's going to be funny to watch. Now, there is one thing that people don't understand, too, that's been happening, and it's because of the brand makers. They have been, especially with cameras and camcorders, misrepresenting their product with a 4K 4K streaming capabilities when they can't do it. Only because of, like I said before, the dynamic in the ranges, the sensors that you'll need, and the compression. The cameras don't have it. So they cannot be sitting there streaming in 4K. They could take a 4K video, and then you have to send it through a compressor to get that 4K out of it. But yet you're not going to be able just to take it and then plug it in somewhere and let somebody watch it in 4K. It will not do it. So when it comes to 4K, I would say give 4K maybe 2.5 years before it becomes something that's going to be worth anything. Especially with the way technology is running today.
Yeah.
Especially in gaming. You know, in gaming, it's just leaps and bounds. Look at AMD and Intel and NVIDIA with graphics cards and their CPUs. I mean, everybody's trying to outdo everybody else. It's getting to be a point where you can't even afford their new stuff. Even though it makes everything so much better, you can't afford it. And that's what's happening with 4K televisions. And then 8K televisions. You know, it's just going to be getting out of hand.
Yeah, well, 4K has been around a little over 2 years already.
Yeah.
But with what you were talking about with the price, how much 4K and everything is, I mean, just look, it wasn't too long ago before we ever heard about 4K, which, you know, like I said, it's only been, I don't know, a couple years, maybe 3.
Maybe 3 at the most, yeah.
You know, 1080 is all we had, and you go look at, I don't know, just pick a size, go look at a 50-inch 1080 flat screen TV now and how much they cost, and compare it to what they cost a few years ago. A few years ago, they were in the, you know, they were over $1,000 easy.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
maybe $5,000. You go get a 50-inch 1080 now for, you'd be lucky to hit $1,000 at the most, $900.
Well, I got a 32-inch 1080p LED screen monitor, and it cost me $219.
Now the monitors are still up there.
Well, this is actually a television I use as my monitor.
Okay.
And it's an LED though.
Yeah.
So it's not LCD. LCD is so much hotter. It runs so much hotter than these LEDs do. I mean, my little 19-inch 720 monitor that I have, it runs hot in comparison to my 32-inch.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, you got to look at that as well. 4K. What is 4K running with? Is it running LED, LCD? What's the other one? I don't remember the plasma. I think was the other one. But I think plasma's kind of going out of style anyway. I don't think that anybody's using that anymore because of because the heat that son of a bitch produced. But also thinking about 4K, when it comes to watching television, we're talking just straight television. Your NBCs, your CBSs, your PBS, all of those stations, they don't have it. They don't have 4K right now. They just don't, because it's too damned expensive. But give it time, and eventually you will start seeing television stations. Just like you have on cable, you have standard television stations, you have HD television stations. Next, you're going to start seeing 4K television stations.
Yeah, an interesting bit of information here I just found on Wikipedia actually. In March of 2016. Now it says back in, which I didn't know. This is actually kind of interesting. In November of 2014, DirecTV became the first pay TV provider to offer 4K content.
Okay.
But anyway, back to local station broadcast, NBC, CBS, ABC. It says here in March of 2016, DirecTV and CBS Sports produced the Amen Corner supplemental coverage from the Masters Golf Tournament in 4K.
Did they really?
Yeah, so, and that's the first. That was March of 2016, which hasn't been that long. So
no, it hasn't.
You got to think it might not be much further before we start seeing others.
Well, and and a lot of it's going to boil down to the type of streaming that they're going to be able to do with it, though.
Yeah.
Because it does take up a lot of space on bandwidth.
You got to think if they're broadcasting over air because they've gone digital across the whole country. Um, I mean, are they going to have to? I don't know the mechanical parts and whatnot of what they use to broadcast, what type of hardware they use, but are they going to have to change their equipment to be able to broadcast in 4K? You got to think
Um,
it's got to be a higher frequency, higher bandwidth to broadcast over the air, right?
yes, but to watch 4K on it with HDMI, you can do a 24 frames per second compatible HDMI cable with an HDMI 1.4 spec for 4K video. But once you get into the 50 frames and 60 frames per second 4K video feeds, you have to use HDMI 2.0 only. And it says here, Comcast is now working on its first generation boxes for 4K at 24 frames per second.
See, and that's what's going to happen. It's going to come down to because I mean these are corporations, plain and simple. They want money,
Yeah,
they want viewers. So it's going to come down to a competition who can put it out first and grab the most customers because they offered it first.
correct.
But I'm looking forward to it, because competitions sometimes drive the price down.
It does. It really, really
I mean,
does.
once you get the product out there, of course it's going to be expensive. The first ones to start offering it, they're going to charge a lot of money. Oh, you want it? We got it. We're going to make you pay whatever we want. But
Yeah.
as other people start getting it, technology is also going to start working the bugs out of it. So eventually you'll have people like with cell phone service. Remember back in the day, you had to pay for a certain number of text messages and certain number of minutes.
Yeah.
Now everybody's like, oh, no, 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 no. We'll give you free data. No, no, no. We give you free data. Everybody's fighting over it and they're dropping the price because everybody has it.
Correct.
So that's what I'm
Yeah.
waiting on. I'm waiting on, more to start getting it and the price war to start happening because then that's when the consumer really benefits from it. If you're willing to wait and not be one of the first ones to have it.
I'm right here. I'm reading that, and it's on Wired.com. That and they quote them stating this: the most promising of all the 4K technology is the ATSC 3.0. It will be the proposed standard for television tuners that would not only allow over-the-air 4K broadcasts, but could also broadcast directly to mobile devices and add interactive elements to the broadcast TV. And it says not all major networks are fully behind the ATSC 3.0 television tuners yet either, because it is not backwards compatible.
Yeah.
You'll need to get all brand new hardware. Remember when they were talking about when you had to get the HD antenna, because HD wasn't backwards compatible with the SD.
Yeah.
So you had to upgrade
That's
to
like
that new antenna.
when all broadcast stations changed from analog to digital, you know,
Yeah, that's it. The
you had to go
digitals.
get
Yeah.
if it yeah, that's what I'm saying. If your TV didn't have it built in, you had to go get that piece of equipment, or I mean, at that certain cutoff date, you had no TV. It was just dead air unless you had that digital receiver.
Yeah. And
So
those
is
digital
it gonna?
receivers, the digital receivers actually required you to have power to them as well
Yeah. So is
in
it
order to
going to
receive it.
eventually come down to, hey, we're no longer broadcasting, 1080, years down the road?
Yeah, exactly. That means everything that we have in our homes will have to be upgraded.
Yep.
Unless somebody drops the EMP bomb that takes out everything, and then we'll be back to the Stone Ages. I'll be okay with that, by the way.
I wouldn't mind. I'd be all right with that.
Yeah. We'd be heading to Montana.
Build us a giant complex out there.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we'll have our underground bunkers built with Connex boxes. Have our Faraday cages around everything, so no signals in and out. We'll be alright. Alright. Well, that was my tinfoil hat for the day. So, anyway, when it comes to 4K, I suggest waiting on 4K. Stick with your 1080, broadcasting your 1080. If you're streaming, stream in 1080. And sometimes I actually step my 1080 down to a 720, on the down mix for OBS. I don't actually broadcast in the 1080, even though I do record it in 1080. It goes out in 720. It still has a very good picture for a 720 picture because you're bringing it in as 1080. So, it's like taking a pixel, say this big, with all this definition into it, and then just making it a little bit more defined by putting it into something about that big.
Yeah.
It's all the same. So you got anything else you want to talk about when it comes to that? 1080, 4K, 8K, 12K, 24K?
I can't afford 24K.
Yeah, right?
Plated maybe.
999 stainless?
Yeah. No, not anything else I can think of. I'm just waiting on holodecks. I mean, that's
yeah. All right, so we're going to move on to what we here were working on. We were working on 3D printing. We did a video where we put together our 3D printer, started our first print. The initial print that came with the SD card that they gave us, it had a snafu. We don't know what it was supposed to be. We didn't get to check it out. It started printing really, really nicely, by the way. Printing out really nice, getting little circles, doing its little thing. And all of a sudden, the whole thing lifted off and moved over and then started printing somewhere else. I'm like, what the hell just happened? So we figured it all out. It was just a bad G-code, so we just said to hell with it. We're not going to use their G-code. We created our own with stuff from Thingiverse and from the other website where we could actually create things. Now, the first thing I created was this right here. It is our CNG logo. And as you can tell, it is
backwards.
For the thing. But as you can tell, it is printed on 3-dimensional. It is 7.5 millimeters tall. And that took 2 hours, I believe, to print. This right here. And it's pretty solid, peeps. That's not going to break anytime soon. Now watch it crack all of a sudden while I'm messing around with it. But I mean, that's pretty solid. It's infilled 20%. Meaning that 20% of it is filled in on the inside of this thing. You can set it up so there's none, so it's hollow inside. You can set it up so it's 50%, or you can put it up as a solid fill. That changes how long it takes to print. This is a 20% infill as well. And as you can tell, hopefully, you see the little stars here? There are 8 stars here. This is a Dragon Ball that we printed on a 3D printer. The only problem we've seen was here at the bottom. It got really, really rough, and it's a little bit off of shape. But from after it got past this point here to the rest of the way up, very, very smooth. And this was at 0.1 millimeters. A 0.1 millimeter infill, meaning that each layer is 0.1 millimeters for each layer going all the way up to create this. Then we did 2 separate frogs. And these are both printed. One at, hold on, I'll tell you by looking at the bottoms here. This one was printed at 0.06 millimeters. This one was at 0.1 millimeters. This one printed better than the 0.06. As far as the bottom of it is really, really rough on this one, whereas this one, the bottom is very smooth. and there'd be very little sanding to make these guys very smooth, by the way. But these are some of the product items that we were looking at building for ourselves, for our channels. And, Murder, I'm going to talk to you after the show, by the way.
Uh-oh.
And these items that we are going to be offering through our store won't be for a little bit, because the CNG Gaming Store will be going down for how long? It'll be down for about a couple of weeks. We're moving the store from Wix, which I'm going to say it was a bad mistake to even go to them. So we are moving to GoDaddy as our host for our server, or for our webpage, excuse me. And we are just going to be building through them from now on using the Linux cPanel. It works so much better than the Windows cPanel, or they're not cPanel, Plesk? Yeah, Plex, whatever. It's not even worth it. So anyway, we're going to be redoing the whole store. When we come back with our store, it's going to be a better store, a little bit more interactive, and a little less bulky page per page. But then we'll have things like this, that if people want things printed, all they got to do is send us a request for, what's the word? When they request something to be printed? Yeah, an order. That's it. They want something ordered, we can give them a price on what it's going to cost us to get that for them, and then we go from there. We will not be able to print Disney, but no Disney whatsoever. Don't ask for anything Disney, because, oh dear God, they are... Don't ask for a Stitch. Nothing. No Groot. Oh God, no Groot. Ooh, they are going after people left and right for printing the baby Groots. They are going after people left and right. Disney is. Anybody who's printed them, they're going after them. But anyway,
just print it with the Disney logo and copyright stamp on the bottom of it.
Nope, you can't do it. You do not have direct permission.
Who's gonna know you printed it?
I'm just saying.
I mean, if the Disney police show up at your house, hey, I heard you got a baby Groot that you printed, be like, what, this? No, see, it's got a stamp on the bottom. I bought it from the store down the street.
Yeah. Yes, I have been looking at different programs that will change graphics that people have and turn them into actual 3D prints. So like Murder and Spree, I could take his graphic and I could turn that into a 3D print.
I need a symbol.
What's that?
I need a symbol.
A what?
Symbol, an emblem.
An emblem. Gotcha.
Other than the picture thing I have, like I need some kind of catchy symbol or something.
Your face.
Nobody wants that shit.
It's catchy. They won't forget it.
I've only caught one thing with it, and I'm not quite sure she's still happy with it.
Yeah, I know. I spent it.
So there's no returns.
Yeah, I spent a year with this one. I got her in that Stockholm syndrome, so I ain't got to worry about it. Look at her over there just grinning. But anyway, when it comes to 3D printing, it is not easy. I can tell you that shit right now. I spent how many hours working on that, trying to get it to print properly? 10 hours. Roughly about 10 hours working on that damn thing to get it to print one thing. But once I got it, it's just a matter of fine-tuning your image. That's the other thing. You got to fine-tune the image within the program for it to print properly as well.
You're not going to show them the other thing you printed?
What other thing?
The naked woman?
I didn't print the naked woman yet.
You ain't. You said yet.
You caught that, didn't you? But anyway.
The movie Mad Science.
Oh, Jesus. Weird Science?
Yes, Weird Science, where they made the chick.
Yeah, Kelly LeBrock. Yeah, I remember that one. But, we will be, once we get the store back up and going, we will be offering 3D printing as well for people. Hopefully we'll be able to even offer more than that. We'll sand them down for people, get them prepped, so all they have to do is paint it the way they want it painted. I'm looking at building a complete chess set as well, using characters from all the games that I've ever played.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And then that would be like a customized chess set. Take the characters, make 3D prints of them, and certain ones be the pawns, certain ones be king, queen. Obviously, you know, you have all your different ones. But I think that would be kind of cool.
Dude, a Skyrim chess set.
There you go.
That'd be cool, so.
Yep. You do the Imperial on one side, Stormcloaks on the other.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah, that is our plan for the 3D printing. We have got 12 colors that we purchased. And we don't have a dual extruder, so we can't have it printing the two colors at the exact same time. So we're just going to be offering prints at, you know, if it's all black, it's all black. Or if it's all white, it's all white. If it's all yellow, if it's all blue, whatever.
Now, will that printer you got, will it run the dual extruder?
I have to modify it to run a dual extruder. And I have to modify the board for a dual extruder. The power board itself has to be modified for a dual extruder as well. I mean, from what I'm understanding, it's not that hard, but I can print another 3D printer with this printer. Oh, here's our little coin. This is the first coin that we did, and it does look like ass, though, because it's not infilled properly. It's very, very thin. But it's got a dragon here on the front. And this is the Green Got coin. It's a Harry Potter coin. It's got the Green Got logo around the outside and then the dragon in the middle. And it has two pieces to it. You have a front and a back. You have to print, and then you put the two together and you get your coin after you've sanded it down. But the infill on this was not enough, so it's really, really flimsy. The print just really is not the greatest, but it does have a pretty decent reveal of the dragon on the front of it, though. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to start creating our own coins, and I'll just have to design it in Cura or in Illustrator or something, create a new type of coin, and then be able to print it out from that. Do we have anything else we printed? No? I have. I'm not even touching it. That paint comes off.
You want to print me a 4K TV?
Yeah, I'll print you a 4K TV. No problem. But they do have STL files for printing other 3D printers. So ultimately, all you have to buy is the step motors and the extruders. And you pretty much got yourself another 3D printer. Nice. And I think they're printing them out of ABS plastics. That's one of the things. You can print in ABS, wood fill, There are different types of metal filaments. You got a gold, silver, bronze, copper.
Actually, I think I figured out what I want my first order to be.
What's your first order?
I want an M4.
An M4, full blown?
Yeah.
I'll have to see what I can do about finding the files for that. And then I can let you know how many hours it's going to take. That's going to take a lot of hours.
Rail system, and if possible, with the 209 already attached.
And
we'll use the low paintball grenades.
You would have to use probably ABS for that, because it will be using a little bit of a punch to it with the CO2.
Wouldn't that be badass, though, to 3D print either a paintball or airsoft exact replica of an M4?
I mean, I'm sure it can be done. Just with the time and effort, it could be done.
That'd be cool as hell.
Yeah, it would. I mean, hell, might as well just go ahead and I'll print myself a new car.
I'm second.
I'll print me one of those new, what's the new Dodge Challengers they have out? I think it's a Challenger.
The Hellcats?
Which one?
You talking about the Hellcat?
Is it the Hellcat?
The new Hellcats that are like, I don't know, some 800 and some odd friggin' horsepower?
Yeah, they're street legal frickin' drag cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen to you.
They have it in a Charger and a Challenger.
Oh, do they? Oh my god, that car. When I first seen the video for that, I was like, oh my gosh, I need one.
Yes, me too.
Okay, so a little bit off topic. What do you think about the McGregor fight coming up? Or the Conor McGregor and Mayweather?
I've heard a lot of people, because I shared your Facebook post on my
Facebook.
Mm-hmm. And I've seen some people comment that A, Mayweather just needs to stay retired. And then I've heard people comment that B, McGregor's going to be out of his element. It's not a UFC cage.
But see, McGregor, he knows how to
leg blocks or
but he knows how to box. He knows how to box though too.
He does. Now, with all that said, I want to see McGregor whoop Mayweather's ass.
Just for the simple fact of Mayweather talking all that shit.
Mayweather's talked a lot of shit for way too long.
Yeah.
And I want to see somebody just end it. Now, McGregor talks a lot of shit too, but Mayweather's been at it a lot longer because he's undefeated and all this, and somebody just needs to shut him up.
Well, it was like with Mike Tyson. Somebody needed to shut him up.
To have a guy like McGregor and a UFC fighter stop a world-class boxer like that, it would just be awesome.
In his own game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because he even made, in that video that you posted, he had made the comment that there is no boxer greater than me. Or no fighter greater than me or something. And boxing,
yeah, he said no fighter.
Which kind of caught my attention, because it's like, are you really saying that you're better than Ali?
Oh.
If he were to go back in time in a time machine to Ali's prime, he's saying he could beat Ali? I
don't think so. Ali would whoop his ass.
That's just a cocky statement right there. And at that point, I had decided, you know what? I hope Conor McGregor just whoops his ass all over the ring.
Well, and you think about it too. All right, it's a fight. It's a $180 million walk in the ring fight.
Oh yeah.
I'd get in the ring with McGregor for that.
They're getting paid shit tons just to show up.
Yeah. But I would like to see that.
Oh yeah.
Hey, how you doing, Apple? How you doing? Well, I went off topic for a reason.
Yeah, but no, I want to see McGregor win.
Yeah, McGregor.
That's my hope.
And really, you think about it though, McGregor could take an ass whooping.
Oh yeah.
From a guy who doesn't have a boxing glove on.
Yeah, that's one thing I was thinking about. McGregor's used to taking a beating. He's used to taking punches and staying on his feet.
Yeah. Oh, I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. I hope you have a good week as well. All right. Take care. I appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, I knew what you meant. But yeah, I mean, Gregor's used to people hitting him with a lot less padding. Not to say the boxing glove can't hurt. I've been hitting a boxing glove. That shit hurts.
Oh yeah, those UFC gloves, man, they're not much more than a taped fist.
Yeah, pretty much. But you got a taped fist up underneath that damn glove. And McGregor is used to hitting very hard. Very hard. And if he hits just as hard as he hits in the UFC with a boxing glove, not snap jabbing either. We're talking full blown, I'm going to lay your ass out. And this punch, I'm going to, like they taught us in the military, when you go to hit somebody, you don't aim for the front of their face, you aim for the back of their head.
Yeah, you aim for a space behind your target.
That's right. Because you know when you aim for that space behind it, whatever's between you and that space is going down. And that's what Conor McGregor is set for.
Yeah. The reason I don't want Mayweather to win, because if he wins, we're hoping he doesn't, he will never, ever shut up. Oh,
I bet you if he does win, he will start challenging more UFC fighters. And oh God, I hope he gets in the octagon with a UFC fighter talking all that shit.
I don't think he'll ever step into an octagon because
I'd like to see Anderson Silva just whoop his ass.
Yeah, he doesn't really. Well, as far as I know, I don't know him personally, but as far as I know, Mayweather doesn't know anything other than boxing. So as soon as anybody in the octagon grabs him, he's done. He doesn't know what to do.
He's gonna fall on the ground.
Yeah,
and then here comes a Kimura. Rear naked choke. Come on, a triangle choke. I mean, any of that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm waiting on. I am waiting on this fight. I want to see it. I really want to see that fight.
If it's not like insanely expensive, like some of the ones that are, this is predicted to be a huge fight, and they charge you over $100 to watch it. If it's not insanely expensive, I may order it because I really want to see Mayweather go down.
I know, I really do too. I'm gonna look and see if it's on any of the ESPN channels because it is boxing.
I doubt it. They're going to make everybody pay to see this thing.
What, sweetheart? Yeah, that's what Murder's saying.
What's up,
I'll tell
UFC?
You. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I really would like to, if I was ever given the option, I would step into the ring with either one of those guys for $180 million. I don't care if I get my ass whooped. I got $180 million.
Exactly.
You can watch that in 4K.
I'll be watching the replay on my 4K TV.
That's right. And this is where I made my $180 million. See how slow I've fallen? That's a $180 million fall right there. You see that snoring? Yeah. That's $180 million snoring. But I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't have a glass jaw, but I'm pretty sure that if one of those dudes hit me, I think I might have one all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah. If they don't
But
knock you out, you're sure at least going to be wondering how you got wherever you are.
where the hell am I at now?
The hell am I in this ring for? What was I thinking?
Now think about this though. Think about it this way. They hit you, and they hit you square on the jaw, and it only just snaps your head back, and you're still clear-minded. Are you going to go after their asses? I would. Yes, you're right. I would. I would lay right into that son of a bitch.
It depends on how hard. Like, if
well, I mean, I'm talking
completely clear-minded, you're not dazed at all.
It's just
for some reason didn't knock my ass down. Yeah, it probably pissed me off enough. I'd go after him.
Yeah, we're talking about Floyd and Connor. Yep. I would.
We're hoping Connor beats
Floyd.
ass.
Only because of all the shit talking.
Yeah.
But, I mean, in all honesty, if one of those son of bitches hit me and then all it did was just snap my head back and I was able to look right back at that son of a bitch, and you look him right in the eye and he goes, oh shit, in his eyes, yeah, it's on like Donkey Kong, bro.
You're like, oh shit, that motherfucker took it.
He took it and he's about to give it back to me. Oh shit.
Technically, Searchy, technically.
Technically, because we just said 4K.
The show does say talk show, and we're talking.
We're still on topic because I said you will watch me fall in 4K.
It does say talk show, and we're talking.
But yeah, that, in all honesty, I've been in fights before, and I seen a guy hit another guy so damn hard, the other guy just seen butterflies and went straight to the ground. And that same guy hit me, and I looked at him like, how the hell did that son of a bitch fall down from you hitting him? When I was in France, that was one of my biggest fights, was when I was in France.
You get hit by a French guy? No wonder it didn't hurt.
Yeah, right? No, he was big. This son of a bitch was huge. He hit me hard. I felt it, but it wasn't enough to daze and confuse me. But we both ended up in the hospital when it was all said and done. Yeah, we were discussing 4K streaming and how 4K really at this point is not the pinnacle of streaming. 1080 is your pinnacle right now. 4K, give it time, and all your television stations will be running 4K. Pretty soon, HD will go the way of standard definition out the window, and you'll have HD and you have 1080 and 4K, and that'll be about it. And then eventually 4K will go out the window, HD will be left out in the cold like an orphan, and then you'll have 8K on top. Yeah, but have you seen the difference of what 4K Minecraft looks like over here and 1080 Minecraft and 720 Minecraft? And
it's all Minecraft.
Yeah, it's all Minecraft.
Now they did make even the later versions of the Xbox Ones and PS4s would display in 4K if you had a 4K TV.
Yes.
And
that was one of the things that we were talking about, though, too, is that you can watch 4K all you want on a 1080p. You're still not getting 4K, but you are getting a sharper picture in 1080.
Yeah, well, they have games now. I mean, in the beginning, there weren't many, but they have games now that are 4K games for the 4K TVs because these consoles will display 4K. But, it's a few because, like we were saying before, it's still new.
Yeah, it's still in its infancy. And once it gets off the ground, give it, like I said, 2 years, it'll be on top. 4K will be the standard, like 1080 is right now.
Yeah, they just, and it's, in my opinion, it all comes down to greed. But if they want more 4K TVs and stuff and equipment out there, they need to bring the price down. Just quit looking at how much they can make right now and look at how much they can make over a longer period of time.
Yeah, exactly. And that's that. And again, boils down to some of these new systems. Some of these new systems with the new graphics cards. We're talking 4K graphics cards. I mean, the VR, how you were talking about VR being to a point of where it puts you into a better position than 4K does as far as viewership. But then, again, coming down to it, we're going to be hitting Star Trek here soon, just like you said, with holodecks.
Yep.
And when that day comes, you're going to see a lot less married men. Just saying. And then we were talking about the 3D prints and some of the stuff that I've been coming up with. Like, here is our CNG logo. It's a 7.5 millimeter tall print. I forgot how many millimeters wide and how many millimeters tall I made it, but it was just something that would print pretty quick, but this took 2 hours still to print with a white PLA. And then we printed 2 different frogs, or the same frog, but 2 different layers, thicknesses. I can feel this one is a 0.06 millimeter layer. This one is a 0.1 millimeter layer. Really can't tell any difference in the frog by looking at them, but by feeling the underbellies, you can actually tell, because the rougher one actually printed the smaller layer printed worse than the 0.1 millimeter layer did. So our kind of sweet spot right now is that 0.1 millimeter layer of printing. But that's our little frog. The little tree frog. Did 2 of them. Both of them printed. How long did this one take? 34 minutes? Yeah, 0.1 was about 45 minutes for just this one frog. And then the other one took just over an hour. For this. Hour and a half, really? Wow, hour and a half for this frog. And then we did a Dragon Ball. You can tell we got the 8 Dragon Balls around the outside edges here. But the bottom of it didn't print very well. On the sides right here, this is the bottom where it printed. Didn't print very well, but from here up, printed very well. Really round and kind of smooth, so not a lot of sanding that would need to be done on this one.
Now, is that the left ball or the right ball?
It's the one in between.
Oh, they got 3.
Oh, you got 8. But
Well, how the hell did they go extinct then?
all that testosterone, bro. You know how, roid rage, all that testosterone,
Yeah.
Dragons, bro. That's why we have our Dragon Rescue Society. We're trying to bring them back. Yes, I plugged Dragon Rescue Society in there. That's one of our little side communities that we're trying to build, is a Dragon Rescue Society. Where we'll 3D print a lot of dragons. So anyway, that was what we were talking about. And then we got off on the discussion because I wanted to get his opinion about the Merriweather and McGregor fight. And like I said, $180 million, I'll step in the ring. I will fall in slow motion. Just for it.
The winner gets.
Just the endorsements. The endorsements alone are going to be staggering. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if Conor McGregor wins, the endorsements for the UFC is going to go through the roof with him.
Oh, yeah. Boxing may lose some fans that move over to UFC.
Just maybe. 10,000, I would step in the ring.
I'd step in the ring, but I'm not saying you could swing at me because they may do $10,000 worth of damage.
Yeah, that's right. Get some damn whiplash or something when that freaking right cross comes around there.
Now you said it's what, 108 million for them to
180 million to step in the ring.
180 million just to fucking show up.
Mm-hmm.
You could pay me 1 million to get in the ring with him. I'd do that.
Look, all I'm saying is there'd be. That's funny. I would get in the ring. I would fight, but I guarantee you, he hit me hard enough. I'm just going to go ahead and fall in slow motion. You won't even have to have a replay because it'll be slow motion enough. I will drag that shit out as I'm falling. For $180 million? Hell yeah. I'd get in that ring. Either one of those guys. I'd be playing chicken in that ring. I'd be running around. I'd be running around. Hit me.
The secret is you got to get in the ring and act all sorts of stupid and crazy, run around in circles, ducking and running around them like, oh, you can't catch me, and get them off guard. Like, the hell's this crazy guy doing? And then just like run by him and sucker punch him. Whap.
And when you sucker punch him, make sure you hit him as hard as you can.
Hopefully knock him the hell out, because if not, you're in big trouble.
Well, if you don't knock him out, you still hit him as hard as you can. You still rock him a little bit. He's a little bit confused, like, what the hell just happened? You just start hitting him. Just hit him some more. Just make sure when you hit him, you hit that jaw right where the ear meets the jaw every time.
Yep.
And then a couple of little solar plexus shots. You can put him down. Kick him in the balls.
It's not allowed.
You still get that 180 million.
True, as long as you don't put it in the about disqualifying yourself.
What's that, sweetheart? Oh no, I would never bite a man's ear off like Mike Tyson. His nipple maybe, but not his ear. She just gave me a look.
Bite his nose.
You ever see that Ip Man fight? When he was fighting that boxer?
Who?
Ip Man? IP Man, whatever they want to call him. He's fighting a boxer. IP Man was Bruce Lee's teacher. And they did a series of movies about him. And in one of them, he fights a boxer. And they ultimately tell him, you can't use your feet. You basically can't hit him with your open hand. All you could do is just block with your hands and punch. But he was so used to fighting open hand and kicking that he literally had to learn how to fight all over again on the fly.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, that was some good fighting right there. So anyway, is this we're gonna be starting this in August this year? Yeah. We are going to be starting a contest in August with Dragon Eggs. Anybody, I should say anybody, but the top 3 people who have 1 million Dragon Eggs or more, top 3, will be receiving something from our giveaway box. But they have to be in the top 3. If the 4th one's over 1 million, he has to be more than the top 3. So it'll be the top 3 people who have over 1 million Dragon Eggs. Yeah, you get it from marking the show. Yeah, watching the show, donating to the show. Yeah, that's what I mean. Donating to the show gives you eggs. Participating in the little adventures in the shows. The slot machine that we have set up for the show. The dice for the show. Any of those items will get you more Dragon's Eggs. Or you could lose some Dragon's Eggs. It's a gamble. Yeah, we have sluts. I mean slots. Yep, we will have all of those up and running here soon, but we start in August. Do you have anything else, Murder?
I don't think so.
Okay. Does anybody in chat have anything for us? Slots? Yeah, it's the slots that take money from you and not give it back.
Well, I mean, that's still more than one time. I mean, all the mechanical slots that I've seen have just taken my money too.
Yeah, and there are mechanical machines that they call sluts sometimes. You ruined my marriage, you slut. Cherry 2000.
I've got no luck with those machines.
Yeah.
I used to,
Yeah, ours will not be rigged. We are setting ours up specific to run off of random emojis. So it really is just random. There will be no actual set way to predict it. It is straight up random. Hell, I don't even win all the time. And I set the damn thing up.
I lost at my slot machine the other day in my stream.
I lost 1,000 dragon eggs the other day. But anyway, if nobody else has anything else, we are going to call it for this Sunday. We will be back again next Sunday for the CNG Show. Me, Murder, our partner in crime over here who keeps us straight sometimes, Searchy. And we appreciate everybody for stopping by. And it is like I always say, here, friends don't let friends get them alone. Peace, peeps.